Om. 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 Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Gurureva Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapyat Sarvam Trilokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vedya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Jai Guru. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So where are we in our text?
Chapter 8, number 16.
Let's see if I can reach the lamp from my new chair position. Yes. All right. Chapter 8, verse 16. Amini, will you help us out?
Yes, I'm just trying to find the page. Chapter 8, 16. Okay. Abrahma bhuvana loka punaravartino jurana mamupetya tu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. Worlds up to the world of Brahmaji are subject to rebirth, O Arjuna. But he who reaches me, O Kaunteya, has no birth.
Yes. So, again, we want to look at what we call in Gita Deva Yajna, the propitiation of the gods through ritual, through sacrifice. Yajna is a Vedic sacrifice. Here we even mean puja. So, for example, if a merchant opens a shop, he installs a statue of the goddess Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth, and has the Swami come and enliven the statue, and then has the pujari, the priest, come and do a puja to propitiate the deity to gain wealth. And it's not just wealth, it can be music, it can be education, it can be motherhood, it can be working in IT. Any aspect of human endeavor is governed by a deva, a presiding principle. It can also be the forces of nature. And whatever other rituals we may do according to our religious beliefs that will take you to some form of punya loka. Punya means merit. Loka is a location, a place, a world that we achieve through the results of our practices. Now, that can also be in this very life. It doesn't have to be after you die. If you want to be a musician, I always like to tell the students I had, talent is cheap. Talent alone won't make you a successful musician. You have to practice. You have to work at it. That's the propitiation of the music deity. And it's the same with any other field of human endeavor. But what this verse is saying, whatever you commit yourself to, and remember, I like to say your good is your God, and your God is your good. You may say to others, oh, yes, I'm a Shiva devotee, or I worship the Mother Durga. But if your good is making money, that's your real God. Whatever it is, where your treasure is where your heart is, which is the God for you. And you may go to that God. Understand that kind of punya loka is always temporary, must be maintained with continued effort. The famous cellist Pablo Casals used to say, if I don't practice one day, I know it. If I go 2 days without practicing, my wife knows it. If I go 3 days without practicing, my public knows it. So all of human activity is only maintained through continuous work. There's nothing wrong with that. What is wrong is when we expect an infinite result from something finite. We have an unrealistic expectation of the world. But here Krishna is saying, but if you have the deep mystic insight, enough of this world. I'm tired of lifetimes of struggle for the same rat race, more, better, different, more, better, different, more, better, different. And it's always essentially the same. I want out. And I strive hard for realization. And here he talks about my devotee is never born again, is one with me, all sorts of language. You can look at what the scriptures call videha moksha, liberation after I die. But yoga thunders, be jivan mukta. Be liberated right here, right now. Finish it. Come home. Or as Swamiji used to say, hurry home, body home. What is the pearl of great price? What is that knowledge which ends all fear, which is the cessation of all struggle, which reveals the fountainhead of all joy? Oh, it's myself. What I've been looking for through all these lifetimes, I've been looking with. Any thoughts on this? Now, we really only give up the world through insight. It's rarely, if ever, effectively done out of a moral notion. Oh, the world is bad, I'm going to give it up. Your mind will boomerang, and then you're going to go out and rub your face in it anyway. We only give it up through insight, and that insight only comes in two ways. We go after the world. Go for it. Let it knock us down. Get your 5 minutes of joy for your 95 cents worth of work. And then watch it fall through your fingers like sand. And then try something else. Over and over and over again. Until we see the futility of it. Or we can do it through a deep understanding of the source, the cause of suffering itself. You know, I don't have to shoot heroin to know that's probably not a good idea. I can gain that insight by seeing the suffering of others. Any thoughts? Next verse.
Sahasrayugaparyantam ahad Sahasrayugaparyantam aharyad brahmano viduhu ratrim yugasasrantam te horatra vido janaha. I hope I did that right. Those people who know the length of the day of Brahma, which ends in 1,000 yugas, aeons, and the night, which also ends in 1,000 yugas, aeons, they know day and night.
So here he's going to be talking about those people who think that what the spiritual life is about is the acquisition of siddhis. Now, we talk about the 4 traditional paths of yoga. Just a brief review. First, karma yoga. This is for people who interact into the world through their bodies. And you act intelligently. Specifically, we spent a lot of time in chapters 3, 4, and 5 talking about karma yoga. There's bhakti yoga, people who approach the world, meet the world through their feelings, through their emotions. This is the path of devotion, developing parama prema, supreme love of God. Then there's Raja Yoga, sometimes called Ashtanga Yoga. It's the same thing. Ashtanga just means 8 limbs. Listen carefully. This is the path for people who are interested in power. I'm not interested in power, but I want to get all my chakras open. I want to have Kundalini. I want to have these experiences, siddhis. It's okay. It's a valid path. Fourth path is jnana yoga, which is a non-intellectual path for intellectuals. It teaches us a way of thinking that gets us out of our thinking, stops the mind. It is the shortest path, but the most austere path. It's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. But the scriptures thunder. You may have siddhis, be able to fly through the air, be able to have, as Paul, I think I think it was Paul, yeah, said, the faith to move mountains, be able to read auras, have psychic powers, have all sorts of really cool experiences. There's nothing wrong with them, but listen carefully. It's like going to the gym. Big muscles will give you big muscles. Won't make you smart, won't make you wise. Siddhis are the result of physical and mental austerities. They are in and of themselves not a mark of wisdom. But there is the Paramasiddhi, the supreme accomplishment, which is simply peace of mind. Now, many Mahatmas display siddhis. Those are karmic. That has to do with tapas, with austerities, with practices done either earlier in a particular life or in prior lives. But they of themselves are not a mark of self-realization. But many people want this. I remember very vividly, I had a student named John who was a hatha yoga teacher. And he'd been reading this particular book about yogis in the Himalayas who raised the Kundalini and lived for 400 years. And he says, "Ooh, I want that." And I said, "Well, John, a couple things. First of all, you're going to have to stop having sex because you've got to redirect that bindu." Kind of crushed him a little bit. And then I said, yes, it's possible to live 400 years doing various practices. But what happens at year 401? You're dead. You're just as dead as someone who dies at 71, 81, or 91. And in the larger scheme of time, even 400 years is incredibly short. Now, that doesn't mean not to take care of the body. See your body like a car. Rotate the tires, change the oil, run it through the car wash. Whether you've got a Volkswagen or you've got a Mercedes, that's the Lord's gift or not. But it will serve you. In the end, the body is an instrument for the realization of the self. And it's hard if you have chronic pain or you're sick all the time. If you're established in yoga, chronic pain or illness will not touch you. But if you're a beginner, it makes it hard. Makes it hard. So the point Krishna is going to get here is, yes, these siddhis exist. They're the result of mental tapas, austerities, practices. A human being is capable of far more than we think. Each one of us is. And in terms of your vyavaharika, your work in the world, knowing something about the metaphysical laws and developing some of these qualities will make you successful. There's nothing wrong with that. And understand that it's still just worldly stuff. Transient. Like the morning mist. Any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I have a thought.
Please.
So are you saying that Jnana Yoga does not bring about siddhis directly?
That's correct.
Okay.
Except the supreme siddhi. The siddhis that Jnana Yoga will give you are complete fearlessness, peace of mind, and freedom from the tyranny of craving. That's not to say the Mahatma may not exhibit siddhis.
Right. Just like
But-
a side effect or something.
Yes, but
Yeah.
jnana in and of itself does not bestow that.
Right.
Is that clear?
Great. Thank you.
And like I say, if you want siddhis, knock yourself out. But that's just like wanting big pecs.
Big pecs are good.
Take it from one who used to have them. They are very temporary. After a while, they start banging against your knees.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's work, right? To maintain everything.
Like anything in this world.
I agree.
Any other questions? All right, next verse.
18 and 19 are together. Would you like
That's
to
right.
do them
Go ahead.
together?
Yes.
Okay. Avyaktadvyaktaya savar prabhavantyah haragame ratriagame praliyante tatraiva vyakta sanyake bhutagramah sa evayam bhutva bhutva praliyate ratriagame vasah partha prabhavatyah. From the unmanifested, all the manifested proceed at the coming of the day. At the coming of night, they dissolve fairly in that alone, which is called the unmanifest. The same multiple of beings are born again and again, and are dissolved into the unmanifest. Helplessly, O Partha, at the coming of night, and they come forth again at the coming of day.
So there are layers of meaning of this. Let's take it from the exoteric. So out of consciousness itself, Krishna or Brahman, by the Maya Shakti, the inherent power of Brahman, the phenomenal world appears with all the things and beings. And it's a cosmos, not a chaos. It's organized and it moves according to laws, physical laws and metaphysical laws. And what happens is beings come into existence for a time, and then they go out of existence. And essentially, a being has three dimensions to it. It has a physical nature, then it has a subtle nature. Some, like worms and germs, have very rudimentary minds. Other beings have more complex minds. Some beings have corporate minds, like an ant colony, or a bee hive, or a forest of trees. And then other beings have much more sophisticated minds. I mean, I love to watch videos about baby elephants. They just absolutely warm my heart. But they will frequently talk about how elephants have the largest brains of any land mammal. They're much, much bigger than ours. They have phenomenal memories. They have empathy. They kind of look at humans as like toys, a pet. But in any case, when it comes to humans, we have humans which are on a wide scale of awareness. Someone once asked Swamiji, well, what about people, who are axe murderers and evil villains and things like that? And his response was recent arrivals from the animal kingdom, which I thought was an interesting answer. So there is the force of the evolution of consciousness, of Chaitanya. And a being exists, and then it dies, and then according to its karma is born again into another form, going through a cycle of vyakta, being manifest, and avyakta, being unmanifest. And here Krishna is also implying the entire cosmos goes through the same thing. We can say yoga posits there's a big bang and the whole universe exists. And then there's some form of a big crunch. And then it big bangs again. It's circular. Now, whether or not this is true in terms of what physics tells us, who could say? It's way above my pay grade. But it also comes down to my life and your life. So, for example, when you read a text like Vivekachudamani, Shankara talks about the glories of a human birth, to have been born human. And having a life where you're not on the edge of survival at every moment, which so many people in the world are. But to have some leisure time so that you can think about the deep questions of life, and to have developed to some degree a desire to know what's it all about. Is there purpose? Is there meaning? And then to have a warrior spirit, to be virya, to be able to, if you come in contact with a person of knowledge, to be able to pursue the path to its end, to have an understanding of the scriptures so that you don't go racing off on all sorts of meaningless tangents. I'm going to give you a Western example. There was a pastor in Virginia years ago who held up his AK-47 and said, if Jesus had had one of these, he never would have been crucified. You know, there's so many things wrong theologically with that. It's a gross misunderstanding of the message of Jesus. But that occurs in all religions. People superimpose their own prejudices on the teachings of Scripture. And he said the capacity to surrender to a person of wisdom and to pursue the path with steadfastness is the result of millions of lives lived intelligently. So the very fact that you're here listening to Gita, either in person or online, yes, it's by God's grace, but we invoke grace by our own abhyasa practice. Don't waste life. It's a precious thing. And depending on our punya, our meritorious actions and thoughts, and our papam, our demeritorious actions and thoughts, we set up our next life, or we have moksha, liberation. So every night you go from the vyakta of your day into the avyakta of deep sleep. The next day you wake up again in a cycle. This is not a rehearsal. The implication here is don't waste your life. Don't waste your life pursuing stupid things. Don't waste your life being tyrannized by the indulgent tendency of the mind. Doesn't mean not to have fun, but hopefully Shreyas, the good, starts to become enjoyable. Any thoughts on this? Next verse.
तस्मात्तु भावोऽन्यो व्यक्तो व्यक्तात् सनातनः यस्य सर्वेषु भूतेषु नश्यत्सु न vinashyati. That verily there exists, higher than that unmanifest, avyakta, another unmanifested, which is eternal, which is not destroyed when all beings are destroyed.
Yes. So, a way in which we can look at the avyakta versus the vyakta. The vyakta, microcosmically, is my waking state. The avyakta, the unmanifest, is my deep sleep state, which is where all my vasanas are in their seed form. It's pure ignorance. Macrocosmically, there's the cosmic day, and then it all folds up in the cosmic night. And then again, these various yugas and kalpas. But that's way above our individual pay grade. We don't need to worry about that. It's our personal waking state reality, and then the deep sleep state reality. Well, what about the dream state? That is another form of the vyakta. It is the manifestation of mental ideas and forms, imaginations. But here Krishna is saying there is another unmanifest that's beyond the unmanifest of deep sleep. So, whatever you see in the waking state, who is it who sees it? I do. Whatever images you see in the dream state, who knows them? I do. Who is it who knows the deep sleep state? Wait a minute, I don't know anything in deep sleep. Ah, but you do. When you are asleep, you are not like someone who is blind. If you were, if you awakened in the middle of the night to get up to pee, you wouldn't know it. You are like someone who's closed their eyes. Close your eyes right now. Are you blind? No. You're seeing the back of your eyelids, which occludes your perception of the waking, the room. Open your eyes. It's like waking up. Another way to prove that you are aware in deep sleep is through the law of memory. You cannot remember something you haven't experienced. Dario, what did I have for lunch today?
I don't know.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Why don't you know?
Because I wasn't there.
Exactly. I had Chinese food, my friend Jim. I was there. Do you know if you slept soundly last night?
Yes.
When you wake up in the morning, you can go, oh, I slept so soundly. If you had a bad night's sleep and you tossed and turned or awakened in the middle of the night to go pee, Do you not remember it? So here's the mind, and here's the self. Waking state, dream state, deep sleep state. Now watch very carefully. Samadhi. And the mind comes back and goes, oh my gosh, there's nobody there. You are the constant factor. You are the eternal factor. Ever the witness of the waking, dream, and deep sleep states. But you are not a mind state. You know the waking, dream, and deep sleep states as objects of cognition. But you are never an object. But you're not unknown. You do not see, hear, taste, touch, smell, emote, or think yourself. Yet you are, and you know it. And if you fin the mind and introvert the attentive faculty and notice that knower, check it out. There's nothing there, no thing there. There's nothing manifest. Oh, I saw myself. It's a little gray ball with wings. No. Well, Kathopanishad says, meditate on the self as a flame the size of your thumb in the heart. Oh, yeah, I saw it. I saw the little flame. Yeah, that's the self. That's upasana. That's for dull-witted people. You are not a thing. You're a who. Don't believe me. Don't even believe Lord Krishna. Look. And the scriptures give us words that point. They do not define. One of my favorites comes from Yoga Vasishta, Chidakasha, the space of pure awareness. Mandukya will use the language of negation, nirupaham. I have no form. Achintyam. You can't think about it. Nirmalam, no taint, no dirt. Avyapadesham. In the end, you can't describe it, you can't talk about it. Vast and empty like the sky, yet always present, shining as I. So this is why when a student comes to me, and I've had them, oh, Jim, I had an experience of the self 20 years ago, and I've been trying to get back there. Usually it was on LSD. And oh no, You may have had some marvelous experience. I don't negate that. But it could not have been of the self. True story. So when I was in the ashram in the Hague, and of course, I thought I was just the most advanced and smartest yogi in the world. Spiritual arrogance like nobody's business. I'm so glad none of you have any of these problems. It's deep in meditation, and I was bathed in gold white light, all this ecstasy. And I said, oh, this must be it. So I went out to the avenues to talk with Ram, who was the guy who was running the ashrams. Another one was Swamiji's students. And I said, Ram, I think I've realized the self. He says, oh, really? Tell me about it. Well, I was in meditation and I saw this gold white light and I was just bathed in ecstasy. I said, oh, really? And he said, and what was going on before that? And I said, well, I was just sitting in meditation. And then he said, and who was aware of that? Oh, I was. And when you saw the gold white light and had the ecstasy, who was aware of that? I was. And who's aware of the conversation going on right now? I am. That's myself, not the experience. Once you get it, you see it's always there. It's not an experience that comes and goes. When you ever not you. You have a thought, Dario?
No, I just think it's fun when I come here. It's like you just like, well, yeah, it's so much different from what I'm used to. Where it's like, and I think about this a lot, um, like the technique of Advaita Vedanta, where it's like you're just like bonking us over the head with knowledge to try to like put us into the non-dual state, which is really what it feels like every time. I'm like, oh, this is cool, you know what I mean? So it's just I don't know. That's my only thought.
Well, and you come here and people have experiences because the
Yeah.
mind is just dropping stuff like crazy. And you'll just, and that's fine. That's just phenomena.
Yeah.
But do you have an insight into who you are? If the teaching, if the satsang is successful, it's a gestalt. Teacher, scripture, student. And if we work it right, you should be having an experience of your own self-nature.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean that's yeah. Yes.
And every time you get a sense of it, millions of vasanas fall away. And nothing I tell you is my ideas. Everything I tell you is the knowledge that's in the scriptures.
Cool.
This is the path by which the rishis of old traveled. I tell people if I were to give a class of, we're going to do pink tantra and do drishtipat and then have sex and rub our bodies. The place would be packed. Prosperity. We're going to have prosperity yoga. We're going to teach you how to do mahasankalpas so you can have lots of money. Lots of people would come. Do you know what you get by coming here? Nothing. In fact, I rip stuff away. but you're left. You're left with yourself. The pearl of great price. Chintamani, the wish-fulfilling gem.
Shouldn't Maya mean?
Maya here, there's Maya with a long A, and then there's Maya with a short A, which means comprised of.
Oh,
So Chinmaya means comprised of consciousness, the bliss of being comprised of consciousness. That's what his name meant. Satchidananda, existence, consciousness, bliss. It's another Swami, Swarupananda. So all of these names in front of the Ananda are various indicators of the self. That it's a name usually given to you by your guru. You never gave me one. I never asked for one. All right, next verse.
अव्यक्तोऽक्षर इत्युक्त स्तमाहुः परमागतिम् यं प्राप्य न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम. That which is called the unmanifest and the imperishable, that they say is the highest goal, path. They who reach it never again return. That is my highest abode or state.
Yeah. So who Krishna is where Krishna is what Krishna is. Now, listen carefully. Many of the scriptures, it'll say Shrunahu, which means listen carefully. Whatever Krishna says about himself is true about the self, which is true about you. Now let's review a very important point. If as yogis we learn about the self as if it's something that's hovering around in the air, an idea. Well, what do you think of the self? Well, this is what I think about the self, as if it's a concept or a thing that does nothing to free us. Who sees the phone?
I do.
That's yourself. The one who sees the phone. That's yourself. You don't get another self. My problem is not that I have the wrong self. My problem is I'm stupid. And I have all sorts of weird, erroneous ideas about myself, which are superimpositions rooted in ignorance. It is like the fellow who drinks too much and he's lost all his money and he's evicted and he's living in a bush around Lake Merritt. And unbeknownst to him, his grandfather has died and left him $1 million. But the executors can't find him. So he's a millionaire, but he doesn't know it. That's all it is. I love Antiques Roadshow. Over and over and over again. Oh yeah, I got this in the Salvation Army for $1.50. Well, I have news for you. You see the name of the painter down here? This is a very collectible American artist. It's worth $15,000. Really? The painting underwent no change. Yourself will undergo no change. What will change is your misconceptions, your wrong ideas. This is called adhyasa. Adhyasa means superimposition. I superimpose upon myself the qualities of the not self. Why? Because I'm ignorant. Avidya, spiritual ignorance, which is the result of the Lord's Maya. No blame, but you can cross over. Now, listen carefully. What is the antidote to ignorance? I'm thinking of a song lyric right now. How many push-ups do you have to do to know what my song lyric is? How many times do you have to run around the block? How many times do you have to quit having sex? Ask me what the song lyric is.
What's the song there?
We all live in a yellow submarine. Now you know. How did you learn the song lyric, I was thinking?
Those you told.
No.
Because I asked.
Yes. Which is vicharena, by means of investigation, by means of inquiry. If I just tell you, you are Brahman, you are birthless, changeless, deathless. Don't worry, be happy, abide in your self-nature. That's the totality of the teaching. But I don't feel it. Okay? Investigate yourself. See if what the Lord has said about this avyakta, this unmanifest that's beyond the unmanifest in deep sleep. See whether or not it's true. So let's parse this verse. So what's the first idea he puts forward, Amini?
One second. I already turned the page. um, does he break it apart in the text? Should I just read it again and then pause?
Just read the English, the first idea in the English.
Oh, I see. Okay. That which is called the unmanifest and the imperishable.
Okay, you are imperishable. What is the root of all fear? I'm not going to get what I want. I'm going to lose what I have. Somehow I won't be okay. And then the ultimate fear, I'm afraid of dying. And what Krishna says is, you are an eternal factor. And you have no evidence that you will cease to be. And on the contrary, you have a whole lot of evidence that you are imperishable. For example, when you were a little kid, 8, 10 years of age, you had a little body. Then you went through adolescence and your body changed. Then you became a young person in your early 20s, your body changed again. Some of us have matured into our 30s or 40s or beyond. Our bodies have changed again. But for one moment, have you changed? Or are you always witnessing consciousness? Why should you think when the body falls off, it will be any different? What happened to your 10-year-old body? Down the toilet, down the drain. Not a cell left in your body of that one. You are imperishable. Next idea?
So, Jim, question.
Yes,
So yes, we haven't changed. Our body has changed, and can we also say the conditioning of our mind has changed, has become more fixed?
absolutely.
Yes. Okay.
The mind is also a subtilized body, you could say.
Hmm.
Your ideas change, your opinions change, your feelings change, but you witness these changes always.
Right. Okay.
Good question. Good question. Next idea, Amini?
The first one, Jim, was unmanifest and then imperishable.
Okay. Unmanifest, meaning yourself is not a thing you will see. It is not, aha, there it is, out there. The whole vyaktaha, phenomenal world, is known with a subject-object relationship. I know all the phenomenal objects. I know my body. The subtle world, all the emotions and thoughts, I know them. I know my own feelings, my own thoughts. Even the ego sense, the perceiver, feeler, thinker entity, it changes all the time. Disappears in deep sleep, disappears in samadhi, thins out when I'm single pointed. I see it rise and fall. Not self. I am not manifest as an object, as a thing that comes and goes, that rises and falls. All right, next idea, or do we get them all?
Well, after unmanifest and imperishable, it says it's the highest goal.
Yes. This is the highest goal. What do I seek to gain by all the goals I have? Be it something in my profession, be it family, having children, be it as an artist, achieving something as an artist, be it something in a relationship, be it working for something politically. All of these things, what happens when you get what you want? I'm happy. Yoga says, why don't you go directly for the happiness and leave out the middleman? The joy we experience through the world is mediated. There is a medium, vishaya, an object. So the joy that I experience through the world is called vishayananda, the bliss of sense objects. In truth, it's just a little hit of my own self nature. But it's possible to taste Brahmananda, Atmananda, bliss of myself, which is independent of the world. It's a non-mediated experience. I think that's all the pieces, isn't it?
There was also they who reach it never return.
Yes. Once you see who you are, you can't forget it. I love the example that Ramana Maharshi uses. He says, just like for the ordinary person, you know you have a human body. You don't wake up in the morning and question whether you're a goat or a cow or a horse or a pig. You know you're a human and you don't have to think about it. So also for the jnani, she knows she's Brahman. And you don't lose it. It's the most obvious thing once you get it. All right, one more verse.
Jim, sorry, last thing. I think there was also that is my highest abode.
Yes. So his abode is his nature, is his self. It's yourself. Knowing that there is nothing more to know. All the strivings cease. Paramashanti, supreme peace. All right, next verse.
Purusha Saparapartha Bhaktaya Labhyasvananyaya Yasyantahastani Bhutani Yena Sarvamidam Tatam. That highest Purusha, O Partha, is attainable by unswerving devotion to him alone, within whom all beings dwell, by whom all this is pervaded.
Yes. So this word Purusha is one of the oldest names for the infinite. I think the first use of it comes in Rig Veda. There's a very ancient hymn called the Purusha Sutkam, the hymn to the eternal person. So the word means person, but it means so much more. It means the essence of what you are. So here Gita uses the highest Purusha to say it's the same thing that the Rig Veda talks about. And here he says, just as Shankar does, others say that devotion alone is supreme bhakti. But then Shankara goes on to say that constant attempt to live up to our real nature is also devotion. Doesn't mean you have to stand on street corners with cymbals singing Hare Krishna. You can do that if you like. Knock yourself out. I love to sing the Lord's praises, but the highest devotion is a devotion to the realization of yourself, being what we call a jinyasu, someone who's a seeker after jnana, wisdom, or a mumukshu, someone who has the burning desire for liberation. This is the engine that propels our sadhana. And I like to tell people, I've been a crappy yogi over the past 50, well, if I talk about the sadhana I did before Swamiji, 57 years. But I've been steadfast. It's been the one unswerving goal in my life. You pays your money, you sees the show. So that's what it takes. Be steadfast. Keep on keeping on. Well, what if I lose inspiration? I get sidetracked. Don't worry. Your ass falls up. Pick it up and put it on the meditation seat. Keep on keeping on. Hasten slowly. It's an evolution, not a revolution. Swamiji used to say, you cannot storm heaven by willpower. It just doesn't work. Be consistent. Keep at it. Any thoughts? All right, we'll end here then. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Om Tat Sat.